Hello, my dear students. Welcome you again to e-learning project of Government of Odisha. Our topic or subject economics. Topic remain basic concept of economics. Today we read utility and wealth. So, utility is the most vital concept in economics because it has plenty of application in the theory of consumer behavior. So, how a consumer will get maximum satisfaction, how a consumer will get maximum benefit, how a consumer will deal with the market. So, that we will know from the concept of utility. So, consumer behavior mainly concerned with utility analysis. So, before explaining the utility analysis, first we have to know what is the meaning of utility, what are the measurement of utility, how can we measure them. So, we start the utility in this chapter. What we will read today? They are the contents of this chapter: meaning and definition of utility, features of utility, types of utility, meaning and definition of wealth, types of wealth, comparison of wealth with other elements, then finally the conclusion what we learn from this chapter. Okay. So, we start first. What is utility? So, utility means want satisfying capacity of a commodity is known as utility is the same commodity. The want satisfying power of a commodity. So, that power is invisible power, that is intangible power. That power satisfy our needs, our want. So, that power is called utility. For example, I tell you, suppose you are thirsty, feeling thirsty. You will take a glass of water, you will drink a glass of water. After drinking a glass of water, you will be satisfied. It means what? So, thirstiness removed by the glass of water. So, water has a power. Water is not utility. Water has power, the invisible power, intrinsic power. So, that power is called utility. So, that power remove your thirstiness. So, utility means want satisfying capacity of goods and services available in the market to satisfy our needs. So, that is called utility. Clear? आम जदि ओडिया कहवा उपयोगिता कहले गोटे द्रव्यर परितृप्ति कर क्षमता कहवा उपयोगिता। आम जहाँ आवश्यक करूँ परितृप्ति दौर से परितृप्ति दबा कौटा गुड्स जो क्षमता रही गुड्स इज एन ऑब्जेक्ट तार जो पावर रही इनविजिबल हम तो देखी पाना से पावर टाक आम कहते यूटिलिटी। क्लियर? सो अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रोफेसर वर्क यूटिलिटी इज अ पावर कमोडिटी टू satisfy human wants. This is the definition of particular professor work, and consumer demand only those products in the market which have utility to satisfy our needs. Normally all the consumers they purchase from the market commodities which have utility. Which have no utility, the consumer will not purchase that commodity. So, utility will take a key role for the consumer's behavior point of view. Okay? So, this is the meaning and definition of utility, but this is not enough to identify to explain the utility term. We should move to the next point slide, that is features of utility. How can I identify them? How can I explain what is the actual utility? First, utility is a subjective concept. ओडिया कहले वस्तुनिष्ठ अटे subjective concept. What does it mean? So, it is a psychological phenomenon. We cannot measure it. How much utility you get exactly from the commodity of consumption or a commodity you consumed, you cannot say exactly. तुम गोटे पानी ग्लास पील मुझे तो पी सारापर पचारि केते यूटिलिटी पाइल संख्या आकार कहीपर नो यू कैन फील ओनली. So that though the human psychology on the basis of time, situation, person is different, so it is subjective, it is also different from person to person, time to time, place to place. Utility is different. It's all kind subjective in character, a psychological concept. There is no measuring rod still invented to measure the utility, like distance or liquid liters, whatever may be. एमती कौन सी जिन बाहरी ना आम यूटिलिटी को मापिबा but we can feel them, we can rank them. So, which goods provides more utility, which is less, we can tell them, no doubt, but actual number we cannot express. Okay? This is number 1. Number 2, utility may differ from usefulness. Most probably you think utility means usefulness. आमे यूज करिवा माने सेटा होची यूजफुल. No. Many goods are there. They have utility but not usefulness. सबु जिनस को व्यवहार कले तार यूटिलिटी अच्छी किंतु किसी जिनस आम आवश्यक ना. What are they? For example, wine, liquor, cigarettes. They have utility. Wine has utility. Alcohol has utility. In the preparation of medicine it is required. But the wine is harmful for health. Cigarettes are harmful for health. So it is not useful for us, but it has utility. Wine has utility for a drunkard, but wine is harmful for health. My point is that utility may not same with has usefulness. Utility टा आमर आवश्यक दरकार सहित समान नुह, इटा अलगा हो पारे. Next, utility and pleasure are not same also. Sometimes I am not telling about always. Utility and pleasure, आनंद प्लेजर जे आम यूटिलिटी जो गुड्स यूज करुँच से सब गुड्स रे आनंद मिलूँ खुशी मिलूँ यह संभव नुह. Some goods are there. It has plenty of utility, but it does not provide pleasure. How? For example, taking injection during the sickness. जिते तुम्हें असुस्थ रोच इंजेक्शन नौच है पूरा खुशी नौच खुशी लगुच नो, बट इट हैज प्लेंटी ऑफ यूटिलिटी टू बी क्योर. So that utility may not same with has pleasure always. You may get pleasure, no doubt, but not always. My point is that. Another is next feature, utility is different from the satisfaction. So I think you feel utility means satisfaction. No. Utility is the beginning point of the consumption. Satisfaction is the end point of the consumption. How? Satisfaction means, consumption means destruction of utilities. Destruction of utilities. तुम्हें जो गोटे एप्पल खाऊच, एप्पलटा खाई सारा पर केते साटिस्फाई होउछ, केते साटिस्फैक्शन मिलुछ कहि परछ. तमाने जो एप्पलटार यूटिलिटी सरीगला परे, नष्ट होगला परे तुम कहूछ. तेणु यूटिलिटी इज द बिगिनिंग, satisfaction is the end. So they are not same. They are different. You can get satisfaction at the end of consumption, at the end of the apple consumed, but utility means the satisfying power that has not been used, that will satisfy you. So this is the beginning part of the consumption, and this is the last part of the consumption, that is satisfaction. So they are different, not same. So utility is a psychological concept that already discussed in the past. Utility is a psychological concept. It varies time to time. It varies place to place. So though human psychology always fluctuating in character, we are not concentrating always in one field. Ultimately, utility also differs. Utility also changes. Okay. So next, utility may vary from person to person, place to place, that I have same concept. Intensity of want commands utility. On the basis of demand of the commodity, utility determines. Which commodities have more demand? They have more utility. Which commodities have less demand? They have less utility. For example, use of crackers in Diwali. Recently Diwali gone. सरकार तबे मना करछन्ती दिवाली डे बाण फुटेबा मना करथिले तथापि. So demand for crackers in Diwali is more demanding. So utility of crackers in Diwali is much more than other time. अन्य समय मध्य बाण फुटै पारिबो, किंतु सेथिरे जो आनंद दिवाली समय बाण फुटेबार जो यूटिलिटी जो आनंद मिलिबो सेटा अन्य समय मिलिबो नाही. So my point is that, so demand, on the basis of demand, utility determines. So which is more, which is less. Clear? So intensity of want what is your intensity requirements, clear. Next slide, measurement of utility. We have completed the features. So, what are the elements, characters of the utility? Next, measurement. How can measure them? I have told you from the beginning. Utility is a subjective concept, it is a psychological concept. We can never measure it, we can feel only. Measurement of utility. Now, so that measurement is specifically for specific field that has been given by Alfred Marshall. According to Alfred Marshall, in his cardinal approach, in his cardinal utility analysis, he explained utility may be measured. How? In terms of money, in terms of price. How? He has given one example, I tell you that example. So, suppose the price of 1 kg orange 50 rupees, the price of 1 kg apple 100 rupees, suppose. So, different example is here, I tell you another example, in the slide is a different example. So, orange and apple same concept, that is 1 kg, the price of 1 kg orange 50 rupees, the price of 1 kg apple 100 rupees, clear. So, 1 kg apple is equal to 2 kg of oranges. It means the utility of, so that is 50 rupees and 100 rupees. So, 2 times, it means 2 kg of oranges is equal to 1 kg of apple. Am I right? So, this is the utility of 2 units equal to 2 units of oranges is equal to 1 units of apple. The utility of 2 units of orange is equal to 1 units of apple. My point is that. So, this is he measured the utility in terms of money, in terms of exchange value of the goods and services, clear. तामाने से टंका आकार रे मुद्रा आकार रे यूटिलिटी को मापी चंते किंतु आमे कोन सी मेजरिंग रॉड नाही आमे जदि मापी दोचन डिस्टेंस 100 मीटर 2 लीटर सेमति किछि नाही से टंका आकार रे मेजर करचन जहार अधिक वैल्यू रही छि तार यूटिलिटी अधिक वैल्यू कार अधिक रही छि सेवर तार यूटिलिटी अधिक ओके आर वैल्यू कम अछि ऑरेंज रो तार यूटिलिटी कम से अनुसार मेजर करचन बुझी पारलो. But he also used one term to measure the utility. That term is called utils. आमे जेमि कहजन 1 मीटर सेमि 1 utility को 1 util 2 utils. So, utility can be measured in terms of unit. Unit of measurement is utils, clear. So, this is the measurement of utility we can measure in the theory of consumer behavior, clear. Next we move types of utility. We have discussed what is utility, what are the features of utility, then how can we measure them. Next is types of utility. Types of utility, there are 4 categories of utility: time utility, place utility, form utility, service utility. So, what is time utility? So, when utility changes, utility derives, utility obtained, benefits found with respect to change in time. When time changes, we can get different degrees of utilities. So, that is called time utility. For example, the utility of umbrella in rainy season, utility of umbrella in winter season, they are different because time changes. The same commodity have different utilities in different time. So, this is called time utility. Woolen dress, utility of woolen dress in winter, utility of cotton dress in summer, they are different. So, my point is utility will change, utility will different with respect to change in time. So, that is called time utility, clear. समय परिवर्तन हेले आमर उपयोगिता परिवर्तन होता है ताको आमे समय उपयोगिता बोली कहते. Place utility, the same concept as usual. There was time, here is place. When you get new utilities, when you derive utility or when we change the degree of utilities with respect to change in place, when the geographical location changes, the utility of the commodity also changes. The fooding habit, the fooding in Odisha and Punjab they are using more wheat, we are using more rice. सेठी अधिक गहम यूज करते रुटी फुटी बेसी खाते पंजाब आम कि भात खाए तो अधिक लोक राइस खाते कहीं प्लेस चेंज होगा आम जदि काश्मीर जावा से वर्ष सारा कोट पिंधा पड़ो कि रही खरा दिने पिंधा पड़ोनी शीत दिने कल पिंधा पड़ो स्थान परिवर्तन हेले आमर उपयोगितार परिवर्तन कर उपयोगिता सृष्टि होता है डिफरेंट उपयोगिता सृष्टि होता है सो दैट इज कॉल्ड प्लेस यूटिलिटी क्लियर नंबर 2 नंबर 3 फॉर्म यूटिलिटी फॉर्म यूटिलिटी मीन्स by changing the shape and size of an object we get utility so that is called form utility by changing the shape and size of an object a carpenter technically changes into a chair from the log of wood or a desk from the log of wood if a carpenter will make a chair from the wood. So, this is the form will change from log of wood to chair or desk. We can get utility from the desk or chair, not from the wood. So, wood was in the jungle. So, my point is that this is the form utility. The carpenter changes its form and provides us benefits, provides us utility that is called form utility. ताको आमे आकार उपयोगिता बोली कहन तार आकार परिवर्तन होला साधारणतः तुम सब गणेश पूजा सरस्वती पूजा करूथबो जो गणेश जो जे सब हमर आर्टिस्ट अछंती से माने मूर्ति तैयारी करछन कादू दे कन्वर्टेड एन आइडल फ्रॉम द क्ले से माटी रु मूर्ति तैयारी करछन से मूर्ति को तुम पूजा करछ सो दिस इज कॉल्ड फॉर्म यूटिलिटी क्लियर देन सर्विस यूटिलिटी सेवा उपयोगिता सो टीचर्स टीचिंग doctor's treatment, lawyer's law, so they are called what? Service utility. So, any kinds of benefits, non-material benefits you get from the activities are called service utility. Whatever the invisible benefits you get from any institutions, from any organizations or by any person. So, they are called service utility. गरीब लोक साहाय्य करवा गोटे सेवा उपयोगिता घर जोगे देवा क्या गोटे सेवा गोटे उपयोगिता सो माय पॉइंट इज दैट सर्विस यूटिलिटी सो लाइक टीचर्स टीचिंग सो दैट सर्विस यूटिलिटी ड्राइवर्स ड्राइविंग द सर्विस यूटिलिटी क्लियर सो दैट इज सर्विस यूटिलिटी सो दीज आर कॉल्ड टाइप्स ऑफ यूटिलिटी नेक्स्ट वी मूव नेक्स्ट पॉइंट cardinal utility that very important. So, why we read utility the concept to explain the behavior of the consumer. There are two approaches to explain the consumer's behavior. The consumer's behavior is maximization of utility, maximization of satisfaction. प्रत्येक उपभोक्ता उद्देश्य अधिक रु अधिक उपभोग करवा आम उपयोगिता को सर्वाधिक करवा आम केमती अधिक अधिक बेनिफिट पाइबा यहाँ हूँ समस्त लक्ष्य कई चाहती मुझे अधिक पैसा दे कम बेनिफिट पाइब समस्त चाहती कम पैसा दे अधिक बेनिफिट पाइब हाउ कैन इट पॉसिबल सो दैट कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर इज क्लियरली एक्सप्लेन्ड बाय कार्डिनल यूटिलिटी एनालिसिस इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय अल्फ्रेड मार्शल सो कार्डिनल यूटिलिटी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कार्डिनल मीन्स द न्यूमेरिकल utility may be cardinally measurable, he told the assumption. Alfred Marshall has taken assumption utility may be cardinally measured. से संख्या आकार मेजर करते कहीं कौन आम नेक्स्ट चैप्टर पढ़ा थियोरी ऑफ कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर जस्ट आई टेल यू द concept here. So, on the basis of cardinality when the utility is expressed in terms of numerical figure, in terms of numerical number, it is classified into three categories. One is total utility, another is marginal utility, then is average utility. So, three categories of utility we will find here. Okay. So, we will discuss what is total utility, what is marginal utility, what is average utility. So, look at the whiteboard, just a numerical example I tell you, then you will be clear. So, what is total utility? You remember. So, utility is a function of quantity consumed. It means here U means utility, Q means quantity consumed, is a function, direct function. If you consume more quantities of goods, so the utility will increase definitely, it is a direct function. So, the examples I tell you here, this is called utility function, this is called utility function. Okay. So, how can you know? Look at this is units of the commodity, this is the marginal utility, total utility, average utility. Shortly I write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose 5 units of a particular commodity you consumed. Suppose that commodity is called apple. You consumed. First you consumed first unit of apple. Suppose you get 20 utilities. Then you get 15. The question may be arised. Sir, why 15 can likely? Now, though the commodity is same here, when you consume more and more, the satisfaction will decline. तुम जो गोटे जिन बारंबार खाइब साटिस्फैक्शन कम दिस इज प्रिंसिपल दिस इज ए लॉ आम पढ़ा लास्ट कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर तो पढ़ा मुझे खाली कॉन्सेप्टा कौन बुझे दूसरी दैट इज 20 देन 12 सपोज देन 8 देन 5 सो दीज आर द मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी एक्स्ट्रा सो सम ऑफ मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी इज कॉल्ड टोटल यूटिलिटी प्रथम केते पाइल 20 द्वितीय केते पाइल 15 थर्ड रू 12 सब मिसई देबा 20 plus 15 plus 12 plus 8 plus 5 all are called total utility. Here total utility is 20, here is 35, here is 47, here is 55, here is 60. So, total utility from 5 units of commodity is 60. Total utility means the total satisfaction, total benefits received by a person from the consumption of all units of commodities available to him or her. जड़े व्यक्ति को जी टोटाल क्वांटिटी मिलूँ कंजप्शन करने सब कंजप्शन कला टोटाल जी यूटिलिटी पाइला ताको आम कहते टोटाल यूटिलिटी क्लियर सो मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी बुझीगला टोटाल यूटिलिटी कौन ये आम कहले सपोज आम टोटाल यूटिलिटी पाइबा केमी पाइबा ना प्रथम टार से 20 पाई द्वितीय 15 पाई तृतीय 12 पाई तो सब मिसई देले है 20 प्लस 15 प्लस 12 प्लस 8 प्लस 5 ये टोटाल टाक 60 35 47 और 47 हाँ 55 प्लस 5 60 ठीक अच्छे सो दैट इज 60 यूटिलिटीज तो 60 यूटिल्स कहते बुझीगला सो मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी व्हाट now marginal utility means extra utility from the consumption of extra unit of output. Look at the units of consumption and total utility. इधर कॉलम को देखो या कुछ छाड़ियो सो टोटल यूनिट्स ऑफ कंजप्शन टोटल यूटिलिटी व्हेन फर्स्ट यूनिट यू कंज्यूम यू गेट 20 यूटिलिटीज व्हेन सेकंड यूनिट दीटा कमोडिटी फर्स्ट और सेकंड दीटा खाइलो टोटल पाइलो केते 35 ताले एक्स्ट्रा केते मिलला जतो गोटे नुवा कमोडिटी कंज्यूम कलो व्हेन यू कंज्यूम वन मोर एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट ऑफ कमोडिटी हाउ मच एक्स्ट्रा यू गेट दैट इज 15 यस सो 15 इज कॉल्ड मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी मीन्स the extra satisfaction, extra benefits, extra utilities derived from the extra unit of commodities consumed. गोटे एक्स्ट्रा कमोडिटी कंज्यूम द्वारा तुम जितकी एक्स्ट्रा यूटिलिटी पाइब मु गोटे कंज्यूम करी 20 पाइली दीटा कंज्यूम मिसिगला 35 ताले गोटे जो एक्स्ट्रा तापर कंज्यूम कली केते एक्स्ट्रा पाइली 15 पाइली सो 15 डाला मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी सेमती तीनटा कंज्यूम कले 47 पाइली ताले सेटा केते डाला 12 सो दिस इज कॉल्ड मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी सीमांत उपयोगिता ओडिया कहला सीमांत उपयोगिता बुझीगला अनदर इज एवरेज यूटिलिटी सो एवरेज यूटिलिटी मीन्स वेरी सिंपल इट इज एन एब्सोल्यूट रेशियो ऑफ टोटल यूटिलिटी टू टोटल क्वांटिटी ऑफ कमोडिटी कंज्यूम्ड एब्सोल्यूट रेशियो सो दिस इज एवरेज यूटिलिटी इज टोटल यूटिलिटी डिवाइड बाय टोटल क्वांटिटी कंज्यूम्ड Here total utility, average utility is equal to total utility 60 by total unit of consumption 5. Here is 12. 12 is called average utility. In the average age, average price, average weight like that. This is called what? Average utility. Okay. So, these are the concept only. So, details what are the relationship, how can we measure, we will read in the theory of consumer behavior. This is the concept on the basis of cardinal utility, on the basis of cardinality, on the basis of cardinality. So, that is called what? Three types of utilities: total utility, marginal utility, average utility. So, मोट उपयोगिता, सीमांत उपयोगिता और हाराहारी उपयोगिता. तेणु आम ये बुझीगला न्यूमेरिकल एग्जांपल. ओके. Next, we move to a point. So, next these are the concept of utility. We have finished. So, what is utility? What are the features of utility? Then types of utility, measurement of utility, and on the basis of cardinality, we are explaining the utility one by one. Clear? So, next term is also very important, that is called wealth. Next concept, basic concept of economics, that is wealth. So, wealth means that term, that word you know from the starting point of the economics. In the definition of Adam Smith, economics is a science of wealth. से कहते आगुरी जानिछ ताले wealth कौन. So, according to Adam Smith, it was material things. It was material things. All the material things which are visible and tangible, they are wealth in economics, according to Adam Smith. But in ordinary sense, in common sense, we feel wealth means richness in gold, asset, property, money. जार जो संपत्ति अच्छी वेल्दी पर्सन तो वेल्थ बोले आम धरती साधारणतः कमन सेन्स इन ऑर्डिनरी सेन्स बहुत सुना रूपा घर सो टैंजिबल आसेट्स जहाँ सब आम रही टीवी फ्रिज आलमीरा जहाँ जो अधिक रही आम संपद बोली कहती साधारणतः इन ऑर्डिनरी सेन्स कही था किंतु ए लिटिल बिट डिफरेंट इन इकोनॉमिक्स. So, economic is not supporting absolutely that view. In economics, what is wealth? Now, in economics, wealth are those things which has possessed some value, which has some utility, some benefits, which things have both value in use and value in exchange for the consumer. They are called wealth in economics. Which economic things, which wealth, which goods have value, both value in use and value in exchange. So, they are called wealth in economics. Which commodity, if any commodity has no value, why a consumer will purchase that? So, my point is which things have both value in use and value in exchange in character. So, they are called what? Wealth. According to Keynes, James Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, that all that have got value are called wealth. Which things have got value in the society? It has exchanging value, usefulness, or it has the use value, then it is called wealth. This is the definition of James Keynes, that is wealth. Clear? So, next we move features of wealth. Everything, all the like other concept. So, meaning, definition, and to identify the concept features, here also features of wealth. This is one long question in your +2 examination. So, what is wealth? Explain its features or characteristics, that might be asked. So, utility, what are the first feature of wealth? What are the features? First we discuss utility, that part has already finished. I mean, sorry, utility common. Again I tell you, so utility means want satisfying capacity of a commodity. It means a thing can be wealth, a thing is said to be wealth if it has utility in the market. It has utility for the consumer. It has utility for the producer. So that is called wealth. आर अर्थ है संपद आम ताकू कहवा जार यूटिलिटी रही ओके जार कौन रही यूटिलिटी थी आम कहवा संपद. विदाउट यूटिलिटी एनी थिंग्स एनी गुड्स आर नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज वेल्थ. फॉर एग्जांपल रोटेन एग पचा अंडा रोटेन फ्रुट्स पचा फल या आम वेल्थ कहीपर ना यार किसी यूटिलिटी अच्छी किसी यूटिलिटी ना. सो दे आर नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज वेल्थ. सो यूटिलिटी इज मैंडेटरी कंपल्सरी. नेक्स्ट scarcity. So sometimes in the last class we have discussed free goods, economic goods. Free goods have utility but they are not scarce. ऑक्सीजन ला बहुत यूटिलिटी अच्छी. ऑक्सीजन ना आम बचा कि बचानी किंतु ऑक्सीजन रो फ्री एयर रो एक्सचेंज वैल्यू अच्छी कि आम पैसा दे कि ऑक्सीजन नौ कि नौना. तामाने फ्री गुड्स आर नॉट वेल्थ. Only economic goods are wealth because they are scarce in relation to demand. So my point is scarcity means few in relation to demand. Which things are available less in the market in relation to demand, they are called wealth. Shortage of goods, short of goods, the availability of such commodities are very less in comparison to demand. So that is called scarcity. Scarcity is one of the important element of wealth. A good can be considered as wealth if it is scarce in relation to demand. जदि आपको कम संख्यक मिलुथबो ताहले हे परिबो नाही. ए ग्राउंड रे हम कहिबा ऑल इकोनॉमिक गुड्स आर वेल्थ. सब अर्थनैतिक द्रव्य को हम संपद कहिबा बिकॉज तार सेटा कम एवं एक्सचेंज वैल्यू रही. नेक्स्ट इज ट्रांसफरेबिलिटी. So wealth are transferable. Which goods are transferable from one place to another place, one person to another person? So they are called wealth. It has also externalities, the physical existence. आम ताकू धरिकी गोटे जगह आउ गोटे जगह नहीं, गोटे बही गोटे जगह आउ गोटे जगह नहीं जावा. दैट द वेल्थ ट्रांसफरेबल. गोटे बाइक जनक आउ जन बिकिदेवा. दैट इज द ट्रांसफरेबल वेल्थ. क्लियर. सो ट्रांसफरेबिलिटी. Next is marketability. It should be marketed. We can purchase and sell the things. So when we can purchase and sell the things with the existence of externality, with the existence of character of externality, that is called wealth. So wealth has four attributes, four characters: utility, scarcity, transferability and marketability. So in this context, I will ask two questions. One question is money wealth? Do you feel? Is money wealth? No. Money is not wealth. Most probably you think yes, sir, money wealth? No. Nah. In economics, money is not wealth. Why? Because money has no utility. Money no utility nahi. Money can purchase the goods. You can get utility from that goods, but money itself will not produce utility for you. टंका निजे किसी utility तुमको दौनी. It has no satisfying power. You can purchase the goods and services from the market. That goods and services will provide you utility. So money has no utility. So it is not wealth in economics. You remember, very important question. Short question may be asked. Next is in the same characters I tell you another question. Is land wealth? जमी संपद की जो जमी सब किना बेका हो संपद की ना. जमी कौन संपद. येस तुम कह सर संपद ट्रांसफर हो पार. जमीटा कौन लैंड ट्रांसफर हो पार. देयर इज नो एक्जिस्टेंस फिजिकल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बट द ओनरशिप कैन बी ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू अनदर पर्सन. हेंस इट इज कॉल्ड व्हाट? वेल्थ. Land is wealth but money is not wealth. Why? The reason is physically land may not be transferred but the ownership can be transferred from one person to another person. So land is wealth. This is also important question. मन रखता हूँ आसी पारे. Next Types of wealth, we explain the types of wealth: individual wealth, personal wealth, social wealth, national wealth, international wealth. Types of wealth. So, individual wealth means what? The material things, the material goods which are owned and operated by private individuals or group of individuals or family. That is called individual wealth. तुम घर, तुम बाइक, फर्निचर्स, gold ornaments, cash in hand, cash in deposits in bank, all the things, they are called individual wealth. सेटा सब तुमर. They should be physical in character, they should be tangible, they should be transferable, they should be visible. ताको आमे कहते individual wealth. So they are visible, tangible in character. So material possession of goods, ताको material आमे छुई परथबा जहाँ जहाँ रही है इंडिविजुअल वेल्थ बोली कहा जाए. बुझीगला. तो इंडिविजुअल वेल्थ कौन? व्यक्तिगत संपद कौन कहली ना जहाँ सब आम देखिपार छुई पार आम अख्तियार रही आम अधीन रही. नेक्स्ट, पर्सनल वेल्थ. मेनी इकोनॉमिक्स डिनाइड दैट टर्म. मेनी इकोनॉमिक्स टोल्ड देयर इज नो पर्सनल वेल्थ. व्हाट इज पर्सनल वेल्थ? द इमैटेरियल क्वालिटीज, the skill, talent of a person, non-material attributes of a person called personal wealth. The doctor's treatment, lawyer's law practice, singer's singing style, they are called their personal wealth. Why they are called the personal wealth? As per the definition, as per the characteristics of wealth, transferability not possible here. I am the transfer kari pariba the skill, efficiency gotakar jonakar kemi transfer kari pariba. Now in the modern age, dynamic age, technological age, new technology invented, so different forms, the voice of a teacher, the voice of a singer is transferable by the media. देखो मु घरे अच्छी तुम्हें मत देखी ना बर्तमान तुम्हें से पढ़ी पार्छ देखी पार्छ केमती इलेक्ट्रोनिक्स मीडिया माध्यम ट्रांसफरेबल मो कथा तुम ट्रांसफर हो पार्छ मो टीचिंग स्टाइल ट्रांसफर हो पार्छ आउ जन अच्छा टेली मेडिसिन सिस्टम चलला टेलीफोन माध्यम से ट्रीटमेंट डॉक्टर खत कर पारे. So personal wealth, that is the skill efficiency of a person may be transferable on the basis of on the help of new technology. Hence, doctor's treatment, lawyer's law, they are specific, different one to another. समस्त समान नुह, समस्त teaching style, समस्त treatment style, समस्त practice law, practice style समान नुह. They are specific position, they have specific ideology. Talent, so that is personal wealth. Some economics denied it, some appreciated, some agree with that view. It is a question debatable. किसी किसी किनो अर्थनीतिक मैंने कही कि पर्सनल वेल्थ बोले किसी नहीं कहीं नॉन मटेरियल ट्रांसफर हो पारिबनी आउ किसी किसी कही ना हो पार कारण यहाँ बर्तमान आजिकल जुगे सब सीडी डीवीडी माध्यम आम ट्रांसफर कर जड़े कालकाटा पढ़ाऊँ आम ये पिला सब ऑनलाइन क्लास कर कॉन्फ्रेंस हो पार्छ. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट सोशल वेल्थ. व्हिच वेल्थ आर ओन्ड एंड ऑपरेटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट, आइदर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, central government or local government, local bodies. Local bodies means panchayat, municipalities. So they are owned, that commodities, that wealth are owned and operated by the local bodies. Government or any government bodies are called social wealth. What are the example of social wealth? Is to say park, road, dam, college, hospitals, anything. All type of government institutions. So national highways, Hirakud Dam in Odisha. So they are called the example of social wealth. Clear? Because collectively used, the owned and operated by the government is one type of public goods, that wealth. All public goods are also social wealth. Clear? So next we move to the point, next point, national wealth. So what is national wealth? National wealth. Okay. National wealth refers to total value of wealth possessed by the citizen of a country at specific point of time. What does it mean? The total value of goods and services produced in a country for the enjoyment, for the benefit of the citizens are called national wealth. जिते वर्ष जिते आमर फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेस हो जिते सब वैल्यू ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट वी आर प्रोड्यूसिंग सो दे आर कॉल्ड व्हाट नेशनल वेल्थ आम तो नेशनल वेल्थ बोले कहते जिते जहाँ प्रोडक्शन हो तार मूल्यटा भैल्यूटा को आम कहते टोटाल वैल्यू ऑफ वेल्थ पोजेस्ड सो इट इज द टोटाल वैल्यू ऑफ वेल्थ गुड्स जनरेटेड बाय ऑल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज कंजप्शन प्रोडक्शन मार्केट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन by this form of economic activities whatever the value created from the goods and services produced in our economy in our country during a year for a specific period of time they are called national wealth. GDP हम कहिबा national wealth हम देशर. So national wealth includes three components, three elements to measure. What are the? One is natural capital, produced goods, human resources. So natural capital means the free gift of nature, also the part of national wealth. Jungle, amaro jo sea, ocean, river, mountains, all are also national wealth. Se sab amar within our political territory. आम देश भीतर से रही जहाँ जहाँ आम देश भीतर अच्छे से नेशनल वेल्थ आमर जी समुद्र भाग अच्छे आम जी लैंड रही जी माउंटेन रही जहाँ रही सब आमर नंबर वन. सो नेशनल वेल्थ इनक्लूड्स थ्री कंपोनेंट्स. वन इज नेशनल कैपिटल नेचुरल कैपिटल. नंबर टू प्रोड्यूस्ड गुड्स व्हाट एवर द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेस प्रोड्यूस जिते आम स्टील प्रोडक्शन हो जिते रास्ता कंस्ट्रक्शन हो जिते पार्क हो जिते कॉलेज हो जिते जहाँ हो सब प्रोड्यूस जहाँ प्रोडक्शन करा द वैल्यू कॉल्ड ऑल्सो. Number three, human resources, labor force. So the labor also, the manpower, the labor force of our economy is also called national wealth, because labor is a crucial part of the production. This is the integral part of production. This is the primary factor of production, the labor force. So labor force also is another part of national wealth. Clear? So next we move international wealth. International wealth is otherwise known as cosmopolitan wealth. आम ताको cosmopolitan wealth अंतर्जातिक संपद बोली कहते. So which wealth is owned and operated by international organizations. International, not by any individual, not by any single country. Jointly organize the system. Jointly operate the system or organization or wealth. So that is called international wealth. Which wealth is owned and managed by international organizations called international wealth. For example, WTO, World Trade Organization, IMF, International Monetary Fund, WHO, World Health Organization, UNO, United Nations Organization, ADB, Asian Development Bank. So many financial, non-financial, economic, non-economic organizations are there in the international level. So they are called international wealth because they expresses, they represents the world as a whole, not to any individual country or individual. So that is the cosmopolitan wealth. Clear to the point? We have discussed the types of wealth. Sometimes question may be asked in your examination regarding the concept comparison wealth and capital, wealth and welfare. Might be asked, other comparisons are there, but might be asked wealth and capital, wealth and what? Welfare. So today I prefer discuss wealth and capital. What is the difference between wealth and capital? So wealth means, I have already told you, repeatedly telling you, which have value in use and value in exchange. Which things have both value in use and value in exchange power. but capital means the produced means of production, that is called capital. संपद कहले जार व्यवहारिक और विनिमय मूल्य रही संपद कहवा, किंतु कैपिटल कहले पुंजी कहले जहाँ उत्पादन रे सहायक होता है, द प्रोड्यूस्ड मीन्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, दैट इज कॉल्ड कैपिटल, मे बी फिक्स्ड मे बी वेरिएबल, दैट इज कॉल्ड कैपिटल, ताको पुंजी बोली कहते। फाइनेंशियल कैपिटल टंका हो, मेशिनरी इक्विपमेंट हो, रॉ मटेरियल्स हो, व्हाटएवर मे बी, दे आर यूजिंग फॉर फर्दर प्रोडक्शन, so they are called capital, punji. They are not same with as wealth. In this context, I will tell you here, all capitals may be wealth, but all wealths are not capital. All wealths are, or all capitals are wealth, but all wealths are not capital. How? Give the example. A taxi or a car. A taxi or a car is wealth when it is used for domestic purposes, for your domestic journey. तुम्हें जुआड़े जीव जुआड़े आउटिंग गल कार यूज कल, ताकू आम कह कौन wealth, not capital. But if the taxi is used for commercial purposes, Ola service, okay, you are very popular in Ola service, so that is called what? Capital. Because here taxi is used for further production, providing services to you. तुम गोटे जगह आउट जगह नहीं जाऊँ, पेमेंट दो पैसा दो, so that is called capital. My point is, all wealth are not capital, but all capitals are wealth in economics. So capital is man-made and wealth may be natural, may be man-made. So these are the difference between wealth and capital. Okay. So next is wealth and welfare. Wealth and welfare. What is wealth? Told you, it is not necessary to say again. Repeatedly tell you wealth, which things have got value, which have possessed some value in the market as well as for the consumer, that is wealth. But welfare means well-being of the people, well-being of the society, which provides benefit, non-material benefits to the people, that is called welfare. जनमंगल आम कहते ओडिया जहाँकि आमको मंगल दिए, समस्त बेनिफिट्स आमको दिए, समस्त को साहाय्य करे जोगे दिए, ताको आम कहते वेलफेयर. सो वेलफेयर इज नॉन मटेरियल कंप्लीटली इनविजिबल. केते बेनिफिट मु पाइली, मु पढ़े मु जो पढ़ूजी बर्तमान तुम केते बेनिफिट पाइल ताको प्रकाश करि परिबो नाही. बट वेल्थ इज मटेरियल. वेल्थ को आम प्रकाश करि परिबा, देखि परिबा. मोर 10टा आमर अच्छी एसी, 4टा कार आम देखि परिबा. सो दे आर क्वांटिटेटिव, but here is a subject qualitative. My point is, welfare is much more essential for the benefit of the society. Teachers teaching provides welfare, but an SC provides you wealth. So it may be individual, social, national, international, you may get in wealth. Social wealth, national wealth, individual wealth, personal wealth, wealths are classified in different categories, but welfare is classified in two categories. One is the economic welfare, another is the non-economic welfare. So economic welfare and non-economic welfare. Economic welfare means any grants. Suppose World Bank provides 100 crores to Government of Odisha for the development of the education, e-learning. Suppose our project e-learning, suppose let. So that is called economic welfare. आमको जे WHO, World Health Organization हो, WTO बा World Bank हो, से माने WHO providing also for the eradication of AIDS, awareness camp for AIDS, any other disease, they are providing grants money. जदि वर्ल्ड बैंक आमको किसी टंका 100 कोटी टंका देला, कौन पाई देला ना आम ओडिशा रे एजुकेशन विस्तार करिया पाई, ई लर्निंग को बढ़ाया पाई, जहाँ जहाँ खर्च हम करा जिवो. सो सेटा हला हमर फाइनेंशियल बेनिफिट, दैट इज कॉल्ड इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर. नॉन इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर कौन, जोड़ा नॉन मटेरियल थिंग्स आम जोड़ा पाँच है। सो नॉन मटेरियल थिंग्स कौटा आम जो ई लर्निंग द्वारा घर बर्तमान कोरोना सिचुएसन रे कॉलेज खोली पारूनी आम कौन कर घरे बस था कि पाठ बुझी पार ना ये जो बर्तमान टीचिंग जो इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर द्वारा नॉन इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर पाँच बेनिफिट पाँच। सो दैट इज कॉल्ड व्हाट economic welfare, not non-economic welfare. So wealth and welfare, there is a difference between wealth and welfare. Okay, so these are the topic of our concept utility and wealth. Okay, thank you.